Why, hello, hi. It is me, it is I. Small town DJ, Khadin DJ for internet. Akastaha and Bakalau Yala. I am low. I thought I could come on here and fake it with you guys, but I'm doing the review so I get it out to you guys before the new episode comes on. But my spirit is so very low, and I've been trying to amp myself up and just get, it's not working. Also, this episode was another headache for me because we're missing so much context. Like, yet again, what am I talking about? Real Housewives of Durban. I think it's episode 8 or 7. Who knows? But it's a review. Somebody left a comment saying they want a full episode. I don't know if you're asking me to bootleg the episodes for you. That's not the vibe. I'm here giving like my opinions and commentary on what's transpired on the show. The show's on Showmax if you want to watch it. If somebody else is posting the bootlegged version on here, this platform, you are welcome to go over there and find that. I've never said I'm doing that like service. It's not my vibe. Anyway, I crochet my hair, it hurts. But so does, I don't like having my hair touched. But I had to do my hair. It was, it was time. What's happening with the show is what I don't like, where I was talking to a friend of mine and she's like, well, I like that it's happening like this because I like it when they stop pretending to be friends because we know they aren't friends. I don't like watching the hard, like harsh lines, like it's a camp, like the Sarisha camp, the Jojo camp, and because it breaks down communication. It doesn't make for a good watch in the long haul. For an episode or two, sure. But in the long run, what ends up happening is that this group will never call out somebody in their camp if they're wrong because it's now an alliance game. It's now Survivor. It's no longer friendship because in friendship, you call your friends out. There's a way in which you do it, yes. But in this case, if Sleaze to do something wrong, so to somebody on the other side, so she's gonna have to find a redemption avenue for her, which is fine, but like not even a redemption avenue for her, but she's gonna have to make like it's not that deep because it's Sleaze, right? That's her friend, that's the person in her camp, and the other way. So what we need, I prefer the beefs to be a one-on-one thing. Like if Amy's not getting along with Zama, Amy's not getting along with Zama. Maria doesn't need to be in that situation in the name of defending Zama. She can just stay out of it and them as grown women can go at it and her and Amy can have a coffee later. That makes for a good show, right? That makes for it to be unpredictable. This stuff with the camps, it gets to be too clicky, too predictable and not a pleasant watch. But let's get into it. Where did we start today? Sarisha arrives. She did not tell Maria she'd be coming in, which is rude. But at the same time, the camps and the lines are drawn that I feel, like what has anybody done on both sides? Like Maria is the host. Again, when I say we don't have context, we didn't see Maria invite the ladies. We saw Maria sit down with Sleaze and tell Sleaze that she wants to take the ladies away. So we still don't know who did that communication. But the ladies are aware that this is Maria's trip, right? So they should have called Maria. This is Amy and Sarisha. They should have called her to say, we're not going to come in the same time as everybody else. We have this, that, and the other going on. But they didn't do that. But anyway, she arrives. Sleaze gives her the 411 on what's happened. And she downloads her in the fight and all of that good stuff. I have my notes here. Because, sorry about that. Not okay, you guys. And then Maria does a phone call with, what's his name? Her friend, Neil. Neil. It is Neil, right? She calls Neil to tell him about what had happened. This woman's anger is so misplaced that I am puzzled watching her have to do these kinds of gymnastics so she can be a lackey to a fucking dummy who is Jojo. Can you imagine being a fucking stooge, like, for a dummy? Like, make it make sense. You're sitting here talking to Neil, saying that when Angel said that she wants a needle and she wants to do whatever to your lip, you just saw red, you couldn't believe it. Does she know that just a year ago you were, trigger warning, you were at the verge of, like, being suicidal over what was being said about you? You are telling us what Jojo did to you had you depressed in your house. What Jojo did to, because let's not forget, right? And perhaps maybe the broader audience, maybe people, not maybe, I was online as well. I saw people making the comments about your lips, but the person whom you were supposed to be mates with on the show went there with you, was very mean, discarded of you, threw you away for a friendship with this other woman whom you don't rate. I know this dynamic that I'm seeing here. I saw what happened in real life, where it was 3 girls in this clique, right? And not a clique because it's just the 3 of them, but in this triangulation, this little friendship of sorts, right? As 3 of them, ideally, 2 of them should naturally, and you pay attention to what I'm saying, be closer. Why? They came from the more affluent families, right? They were, the 2 of them had 2 working parents in the home, 2 professional working parents in the home, went to the same kind of church, not the same kind, the same exact church really, had a similar upbringing, had they've home, but one of them was closer to the one whose home life wasn't as polished. And the other one was so puzzled as to, no, naturally, how you worked it out in your head, we should be closer, our lives look similar. That's what's happened here with Maria. On paper, she should be closer to Jojo, according to her, right? They married the well-off men. I'm not sure if Maria and her man have an age gap, but they married the well-off men. They are the ones who are housewives and well-kept. They're the ones who got to have the one kid and keep themselves up. They love to play with some injectables. On paper, she should have been Jojo's bestie. Even last season, I couldn't make sense of why, like the disdain and just the disgust with which she'd speak about Nongo. So my microphone cut off. My microphone cut off at 7 minutes and I'm having to redo this again and I already don't have the strength for it. So I don't know what it's going to give because it's all off the cuff. Like, I make notes for the sequence in which the show went, but my opinions and like the commentary is all like just off the cuff. Like, you can't try to recapture that. Like, now I have to give new energies that I really don't have. Yo guys, let's get into it. I think I cut off when I was talking about just how Maria was treating Nonko last year. Slee also made mention of it in her confessional when she's like, she said to Sarisha, oh, yesterday Maria left the building and Chantal showed up. And so a producer that must have asked in the confessional, who's Chantal? And she's like, that's the Indian girl that should have been besties with Joe. You know, we all know, we've seen it for what it is. She really feels like her and Joe were supposed to be so super tight and Nonko was supposed to be their flanky. And it's like, it didn't work out that way. But Maria's on the phone with, I think it's Neil. And I hope I haven't said this already. Maria's on the phone with Neil and she's telling him about what had happened with Angel and how Angel made mention of her lips. And when that happened, she lost her fucking marbles. She also says in the phone call with Neil, you know, last year I was like curled up in a room somewhere, you know, contemplating taking my own life. Does she know that I went through this and this? I'm sorry, I'm going to correct this. Does she know that Jojo put you through this? Does she know that how Jojo spoke about your lips last year and maybe the audience by extension had you in such a dark place? Jojo, whom you're so desperate to get back cool with. It's giving misplaced anger. It's giving that reaction that you had with that hyperventilator you put on. It is very much the energy you should have had for Jojo. the energy you should still have for Jojo. But it's a bit more beneficial to get back in cool with Jojo and not so much with Angel. So it's easier to be righteous in your anger and be so unforgiving in your situation with Angel, because you don't lose as much with Angel. There's nothing to lose there. You can stay angry and be the world's biggest victim, but you had to pack it away very quickly with Jojo, didn't you? Great. Just hang on. But anyway, that's the conversation that she has. They go for a game drive. She doesn't invite Angel on this game drive, and that's pretty much it for the game drive. Nothing interesting is really happening there. In the morning, we see Jojo sitting out on some beautiful deck, very picturesque. I really wanted to be sitting there with them. Jojo's sitting with Nonko and Zama. Well, I wanted to be sitting at the deck, not necessarily with them. And Zama decides that she's going to throw them a bone. She's now realized that at Survivor, you actually have to make some kind of alliances. And she gives them something that feels personal, but it is personal, but it's not that vulnerable, if you ask me, of her, because she's already made it her storyline. She's filming this on the side. We see her go to talk about her having fibroids and needing to do surgery. So she gives them nothing they can really hurt her with, but she gives something that is looking like she's sharing and looking like she's being vulnerable while giving nothing, while skirting around the issue when Nonko asks her, are you dating right now? She manages to skirt around that, because that's real ammunition. That's a real vulnerability, and she's never going to give them that, honey. She's cagey as fuck, this one. Also, we're 8 episodes in and we don't know where she lives. You were also freaking obsessed with where Lassie lived, or where does she live? Or we've seen this woman everywhere but at her home. Where do you live, Summer? Where are you living? Okay. We know nothing about this person. The information she's volunteered to these two fucking dummies who feel like, oh, now she's opening up to us, baby. The fuck out of here. Anyway, Slee, Sorisha, Amy, and Angel go canoeing or rafting. I don't know. They're in a little canoe thingy. And Jojo, Maria, and what's her name, Nonko, go for a cooking class where they're going to learn how to make fish pie. This is what I don't like. Maria, as the host, should have tried to do something with somebody from the other camp whom she's not getting along with right now, in order to try and bridge the gap. But what we have here is, echo chambers, essentially. I'm going to go off with these people that are already team me, and we're going to say to each other, like, things we already spoke about in the WhatsApp group, because it's giving WhatsApp groups at this point. It's giving, there are groups on the sides where they discuss things, and then they come together and then attack each other, and everybody hold fort, like, don't, my head hurts. After rafting, they go down and sit down for a cup of tea, to which, what is her name? Slee says, you know what, I feel vindicated a little bit, but also I feel like I'm owed an apology as to how things unfolded with Rangwane Ska, who is, I really feel like Nonko's ex looks like Simba's Rangwane, Scar from Lion King. I do, okay? I need an apology for people saying that I was coming on to Calvin last year. And then we see a flashback scene. Guys, Nonko and Jojo treated Slee so badly last season. Like, for no reason. She had done nothing to Nonko, especially to deserve that kind of treatment from her, hey? But she's like, I feel like I need them to tell me I'm owed some apologies from them. Then she also turns to Angel. Angel, what did you say about me being a witchcraft? Angel skirts around the issue and also lies. Just lies. Slee rolls her eyes in the confessionals because she knows Angel's lying. Angel did say what she fucking said, and she doesn't own it in the scene. But again, because of the camps and alliances, they're having to push it under the rug and act like there's nothing. It's not that serious. Slee actually needs to be fucking mad at Angel, like proper livid. And as much as she's mad with Nonko, rightfully so, because they both said it, she needs to have that level of anger for Angel as well. Okay. Great. At the cooking class, Maria says that she feels used by So. Grown-ass woman always claiming that Saoirse has done something to her. You're too bright for this. Okay, Saoirse didn't use you. You thought that you and Jojo had a very strong relationship or were building a very strong relationship, and that if you came for her bestie Nonko, you and Jojo could survive that. But you learned in a very harsh way when she spoke about your lips the way she did, that you in actual fact don't have that friendship and that she will choose Nonko over you, and that should hurt you. How is that Saoirse using you? You called out what you were seeing for what it was, and you weren't wrong. That was what it was. What you were calling out, well, not really, because you wanted to be friends with Jojo, you kept saying you feel like she only acts this way because of Nonko. You were making Nonko the problem for Jojo's bad behavior while enabling the behavior. And now Saoirse used you to try and oust them. Saoirse did nothing of the sort. You just finding yourself left out in the cold and you want to do anything and everything to get back cool. I'm sorry. Amy goes over to see Maria. Maria is on the phone with her son and she gets off the phone and she doesn't even give her a moment to really get a word in and apologize. Very conveniently wants to throw Angel about the place for this comment that she made, even though Jojo said much worse things about her. It's at the scene that she tells her that, you know what, if you want to stay, you can stay. I don't really want you here, but you have a different relationship with the other ladies. To which Angel decides that she's actually going to leave the trip altogether. I might be missing stuff, you know. Jojo and what's her name? So sit down and she tells her that Mabusi wants to apologize for what's happened. You guys know how I feel about this. Mabusi will now become this like evil thing in Jojo's life that like say this alleged racial slur to her. It just doesn't hold water for me. You know, Angel of all people has said in this very episode that, you know what, I need to go apologize to Maria for especially towering over her because we don't do things like that. Jojo did this. Jojo exhibited this exact behavior that even Angel of all people knows is not allowed. She showed up in this way in scene with Mabusi, but she's making like she's done absolutely nothing wrong. She did not. She's so righteous in her tears right now, right? Like, she called me a white bitch. Therefore, everything that happened before that, we can just cross it out and act like that shit didn't happen. I think fucking not. Somebody else needs to play this game with Jojo. It's never going to be me. Angel leaves, right? We're at the dinner. The ladies all arrive looking however it is that they're looking. Oh, this dinner. It was so chaotic. Guys, I love there to be method to the madness. I love organized chaos. I do. By all means, bicker and go at it. That's why we watch the shows. But good Lord, can I understand what's going on? You know? They sit at the table. Maria mentions that Angel is not at the dinner because she left. Saoirse then turns to her. She says she came by to say goodbye to me. She did say that she came by to try and apologize to you, to which you were not having it. And you said she can stay at the dinner, but you don't want to hear. And I feel that's not very welcoming. Maria then dismisses Saoirse and says, you weren't there when the fight broke out, so I really don't want to hear what you were saying. That is not a valid reason for me to not want to hear from somebody. The ladies have told her what transpired. Like, I didn't understand why she can't have an opinion on it. To which Slee tries to then say Maria, and then Maria immediately shuts Slee down. She doesn't even get to hear what Slee wanted to say. She's so like feeling so righteous in her Angel did me wrong, you know? And she doesn't want to hear anything, to which Slee says, but dude, you didn't even hear if I was going to support you, if I was going to say something to validate your feelings. You just shut me down. It's the camps. She can't even hear what the people on the other side of the table want to say to her because the camps, right? And in this moment, we're seeing Zama desperately look for a moment with Saoirse. Desperately, when Saoirse was having the conversation with Maria, she's trying to slot her way in, just I don't get it. You said to this woman when she reached out to you to try and start over with you that you will see about it. Like as if somebody needs to audition for a friendship with your shaky ass, right? But you somehow, Zama really rates herself, guys. It's so weird to me. She exhibits like characteristics of a narcissist to me. I'm not diagnosing her. I'm just saying she's no, very calculated, she's in actress mode. She does that face that I told you about when she's acting here. She's looking for a moment to Sarisha. Yeah, I called you. I tried to call you. You told this woman you don't know about being friends with her. The next time you call her is when you want to use her resources or want her to labor for you. I'm glad Sarisha didn't answer the phone. Honestly, oh, Sarisha's just bothered I'm friends with Maria. Nobody gives it. You're not friends with anybody. Neither of you are friends. None of you. So, as she's interjecting, Amy then decides to try and have a conversation with her. Maria, I'm telling you how chaotic I sound is exactly how chaotic the scene was. Zama's trying to attack Sarisha. Amy is trying to attack Zama. Maria wants to jump in to defend Zama against Amy, to which Amy says, don't come for me, girl. Do not do that, Maria. Don't do that. Okay, I will not pretend to be moving tables around. I'll fuck shit up, you know. And then Maria in the confessional says, this child, Maria, you need to cut that shit out because I'm going to notice that you're wearing very large neck pieces because you can't hide your age on your neck. I'm going to notice that. Then now I'm ageist. What do we do? Stop calling the other women who are younger than you children as a way to dismiss of their feelings and their views and their opinions. Stop doing that. It's not cool. Because what if I decided that you have geriatric opinions and I don't want to hear them? What do we do now? None of it is helpful. You know? Now she's mad, Amy. One thing that doesn't land for me is when Zama tries to throw around, the jailbird thing. That's why you own your past. That's why you own your experiences, no matter how uncouth they are. Because it takes the venom out of it. It takes the sting out of it. Nobody can use that shit to beat you over the head with it if you own your unsavory past. If you own the person you were and how much you've grown from there, that's why it doesn't land. I'm not the only one. It doesn't land with me. Every time she says that, it falls flat. Like, the jailbird, the this. Amy owns who she is and what she's done. Like, you can't use that to shame her. But you are used to keeping, you would have kept that to yourself and tried to conceal it. You and Slee have that kind of character where you want to come across like you don't have these unsavory past or something that had happened that's less than what you would want people to think of you. Or, you and Slee have left yourself very vulnerable that at any moment somebody can drench up your past and throw it in your face and really hurt you with it, or have you be embarrassed about it because you chose not to get ahead of the story. You must Olivia Pope this shit. You got to get ahead of it. Say it before they say it. Okay, great. Everybody's arguing. At some point, Slee's arguing with Nonko. They're always arguing. I don't even know what they're arguing about this time. Sarisha then says, the most well-behaved person at the table is Jojo. I know, shocker. Sarisha then says, but you all were talking nasty about their dresses. Talking about Jojo and Nonko talking nasty about Slee and Amy's dresses. To which Jojo and Nonko seem genuinely puzzled over. So I believe them. I don't think they said anything nasty about these women's dresses. I believe they said something about a dress. And because of the camps, Soso assumed the only dresses they could be talking about are Slee and Amy's dress or Slee's dress. Because why would they be talking about Maria's dress? She's friends with them. Jojo says in the confessionals, we weren't talking about, the only dress that was spoken about is Maria's dress because it had all those pearls and it was making a chiming noise and she was struggling to walk in it. What I didn't understand in this moment is that the mics are hot. These ladies are mic'd up. Why is it that they can't just show us a little flashback of what was said. I believe Jojo. I don't think Jojo and Nonko aren't liars. They would really just like, they wouldn't lie. They wouldn't outright say that we didn't say that when they said it. They'd say something else, but they wouldn't deny having said it. So I believe them. But nobody here is giving fashions like that anyway. You know, like Slee is very offended by this fashion thing, feeling like nobody can come for her fashions. You've been missing a lot this season. It's been hit and miss with you this season with the fashions, honey. In as much as I adore you, you know, I have a crush on you and stuff. Zama leaves the table, Maria follows, Nonko follows, Jojo leaves, and she says to Sorisha, so you know I didn't say that, and I'm really hurt that you would say that about me. It's hot and cold with you. 1 minute we're really getting on, the next we're not. I never know where we stand. It feels like our friendship is breaking down yet again. She seems really gutted by this, like really, really hurt by what Sorisha has done, because they had just had a conversation about Mabusi not too long ago, before the dinner. And they leave the table. Slee and Slee's camp stay, and she's like, oh, we're flying out of here tomorrow. Maria goes over to Jojo and Nonko and says the broke one is talking about flying out of here tomorrow. It's, oh, my head hurts. My head hurts, Lala. Truly. But that's what happened. That's the episode. I probably missed so much because I had to like do a re-record quickly, but like that's really the gist. It was not, I wouldn't say it's a bad episode. Yes, we were entertained, but they need to do something about the camps. It's going to get away from them. Mwah.